Okay, we went ahead and did a few things to the game. I've put a gameplay in the middle of the start screen and the lose screen, and I'll tell you how it ties in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and you'll see I've got aliens now that can shoot, and my player can move and shoot. The aliens don't move yet. We'll do that next video. If I get hit, it says lose. I hit start. We go back to restart. This time, if I would hopefully kill them all, hit them. There we go. It says win. So when I kill them all, it says win. When they kill me, it says lose. So that's kind of what we were looking for. Since they're not firing, I'll give them the business. There we go. So it appears to be working. So let's go see how we did it. Back to editor, and notice again I've moved that scene in the middle of the two of them, and I've added another variable. I had my win first that was set as false, and I've added something called enemy count as a game attribute. Again, a game attribute can be accessed by all actors, not just one. So that was an important change that I've done in this particular case. All right, so let's go look at some actors things for a moment, and let's take a look at player himself for a moment. So these are just your standard move right, move left, and fires for a second, and let's look at this collision. Okay, this collision says when I overlap with enemy bullet, destroy this actor and go to the game over scene. Okay, now remember that game over scene, it has win set as false to start with, so that's fine. It'll just stay as false and it'll say I lose. So the key is how can I get it to when I kill all the enemies to change to a true thing? And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this coding for a minute. I set a little timer down here at the end, and I'm going to make the screen a little bigger. I set a little timer down here at the end, and let's see what it says. It says after the game has been started for 1 second, it does an attribute conditional. If game enemy count is 0, you must have killed them all. Then from what we're doing is we're setting that Boolean to true, and then we're going to the next scene. All right, so if the enemy count is 0, we've killed them all, set the Boolean to true, go to the next scene. So let's see what happens when we look at the enemies coding. In this case, alien over here. So again, these are just random bullets. First of all, I did something without a conditional, just like the bullets moving or the player laser moving. This happens right off the bat. When there's an enemy on the screen, or an alien in this case on the screen, it adds 1 to enemy count. So if there's 3, it'll add 3. If there's 4, it'll add 4. So instead of enemy count being 0, it'll start the game as 4 or 5 or 3 or however many you got on the screen. Okay, and then what do we do when we do a collision? Well, we say when he hits player laser, we do want to destroy him, but what else are we going to do? This is, again, a change attribute conditional, and we're going to take 1 away from enemy count. So it basically keeps track of the amount of aliens on the screen, and when that gets down to 0, as you saw in that other piece of code, bam, it goes over to my win-lose screen, and it actually sets the thing to win. Last thing I want to show you that I did here actually had to do with the restart button, and this is kind of how to make this work. So when touch is pressed, go to the next scene. Well, this enemy count doesn't reset unless you reset the game. So it didn't work at first because I was using the same reset button on both the end screen and the start screen. Well, the one on the start screen is fine. All right, this is restart prototype. However, if I want to go over here to the scene, I'm going to look at the game over scene for a moment. And let's look at the one we have down here. This, I've actually opened up an instance code, and how I did this is I popped over to instance and I clicked on the lock that was sitting here. I could say revert for a moment, and then I could pop over here to instance. Here's the prototype code that just says go to next scene, no add. Here's the reset code that I unlocked, and notice this one says when touch is pressed, go to the next scene. No, oh, that's because I reverted. Go to the next scene, no add. This actually won't work. So when touch is pressed, I actually changed that go to the next scene with just reset game. And I just left it no add. So I opened up an instance code on the game over reset button. And instead of just saying go to the next scene, I told it to reset the game instead. And it should work now. Okay, thanks. That's our video.